Hey, what's up? I managed to catch the midnight premiere of Captain America: Civil War Thursday night. As of right now, as recording this, it's Saturday night, so I did have to wait a little bit to finally make a video about it. But I think it's still early enough that I can post a video review of it. So, long story short, absolutely loved it. It was so good. It completely met and even exceeded my expectations. So I guess I'll just break it down for you. I'm going to divide the video into two different parts. The first part where I'll do a spoiler-free discussion, and then the second part I'll get to the spoilers and everything for the people that have already seen it. So first I'm just going to go with what I didn't like. Honestly, there's not that much. It was just nitpicking. But my biggest problem with it was actually the CGI. There are some moments where it really shines. If you've seen Ant-Man, there's another scene where they make one of the actors look younger, like they did with Michael Douglas and Ant-Man at the beginning of Ant-Man. And it looks flawless. Like, it just looks like that's the young actor there. It just looks like they're 30 years younger, and it looks so real. But that must have been like where all like the CGI money went because especially in the opening sequence with Falcon, I noticed it the most. It just looked fake. Like, it kind of brought me out of the movie a little bit. Like, he would jump in the air and kick someone using his wings, and the wings look cartoony, and you just know that they're not really there. And he has his drone Red Wing that he throws out and uses to scan the battlefield, and that just looked completely fake. There's this one shot where it just tracks like the drone as it flies throughout the air, and it just looks not real. And that's in the beginning, but there's also some later in the movie. Even stuff as simple as like a helicopter. There was just someone taking off in a helicopter, and I was looking at it, and I was like, that doesn't look like a real helicopter. It wasn't terrible. It was just noticeable. It wasn't bad CGI. It was just noticeable CGI. So that was my biggest nitpick. My only other nitpick that I can really think of is the whole opening sequence. I guess I won't say who it's with, just in case that's a spoiler for someone. I don't want to risk spoiling anything, but there's an opening sequence, and it's the Avengers fighting this villain, and he really doesn't have any build-up. I know they built him up in the Winter Soldier, but he's just kind of there. He's like, I'm gonna steal this bioweapon. I'm gonna get you, Captain America, and then it's done. And then they like don't even mention it for the rest of the movie. There's like something that happens during the fight that affects the movie, but like who the villain is and what he was trying to accomplish in the opening sequence means like absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of the whole movie. So that it was just a little bit lazy, but other than that, the movie was fantastic. All right, now I can get on to the stuff I really liked. There is a bad guy in this movie who is not Captain America or Iron Man. I forget what his name is. It's like Zemo or something. I don't think that's a spoiler. It's just he's the antagonist. That's just what he is. I think it's like Heron Zemo or something. Heron Zemo or something. But the whole movie, you think, like, I don't like this. It's just distracting from what everyone wants to see with the battle between the heroes and everything. But without spoiling anything, they managed to tie it in with everything, and it ties in so well, and his character turns out to be super well written and a really good addition to the movie. I really thought that he was going to be my least favorite part, and he turned out to be one of my favorite parts. One of my favorite, because this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but Spider-Man is in the movie, and oh my god, is he well done. Tom Holland is playing him. He doesn't come in until like an hour and a half into the movie, so it takes a while to get to Spider-Man, but when he comes in, he's played by Tom Holland. He's just right. They just did it right. Marvel, I keep telling everyone, Marvel did a better Spider-Man in 20 minutes than Sony did with 5 movies, and I mean that. The first 2 Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, they were good. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 are good. They're good movies, but it's very much a film version of Spider-Man, if that makes any sense. It's not a translation of the comic book Spider-Man onto the screen. It's very much a movie Hollywood version of Spider-Man's character. You know, Tobey Maguire looks like he's 30, and Andrew Garfield was 30 when he played it in The Amazing Spider-Man. But this Spider-Man, Tom Holland's 19. Peter Parker is supposed to be 15 in this movie, and he looks it. He has a really boyish face, kind of young looking, so it absolutely fits. Doesn't break immersion whatsoever. Super funny. I guess I'll mention in the spoiler section the specifics of his character, but so funny, so well done, so well acted. They got it right. They got Spider-Man right. If you have been waiting for a good Spider-Man, a good movie Spider-Man, this is it. Go see Civil War. And then go see Spider-Man Homecoming when it comes out in 2017. It's such a long wait. I can't wait. Other things I liked. Ant-Man is in this movie. Also in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler. And every scene that Spider-Man and or Ant-Man is in, they completely steal the scene. They are just so funny. Just so many good one-liners, so many memorable lines. And they're just so good on screen. I'm so excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Is that 2017? I think that's 2017. I hope it's 2016, but I think it's 2017. But the actual plot of the movie, it's well written, it's well done. I saw Batman vs. Superman earlier in this year in the theaters. Probably shouldn't have, but Captain America Civil War is everything that Batman vs. Superman wanted to be. They wanted to, it's like, DC had trouble balancing like 3 of their heroes on screen, and then Civil War is just like, oh yeah, well we have like 10 of them, so sorry DC, we're just doing it well. And it's just like, it's baffling to me how bad Batman vs. Superman is in comparison to Captain America Civil War. It's just like DC was like, yeah, we can do the multiple heroes thing, and then Marvel was like, oh dude, that's so cool, you're making an effort. Alright, we got Civil War coming out, so let's do whatever you're doing. And then they just fucking wrecked it. They just did such a good job with Civil War. The story's good. I'll go on the spoiler section. I'll start describing the plot and everything because I don't want to accidentally give anything away. But it's well written, well directed. All the characters are super well balanced. None of them are underused. They all have their moment to shine. And it's just a fantastic movie. I highly recommend everyone to go see this. If you're a Marvel fan, absolutely go see it. I guess I just realized one of my other nitpicks. It does rely heavily on you having previous knowledge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you're not a huge Marvel fan, you might be a little lost in this movie, unfortunately. You should probably see Ant-Man, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Age of Ultron at least before seeing this movie. So that's 3 movies you should research before you go see Civil War. But if you have seen those movies, absolutely go and see Civil War because it is so good. My final verdict for it is a 9 out of 10. Very, very, very solid, fantastic movie. Just exceeded my expectations in every way. Alright, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and you wish to avoid spoilers, please stop watching this video, pause it, go see Civil War, come back and resume watching it because I'm about to go into specifics of the plot, things with Spider-Man, things with all the characters, and the ending with the villain that made me like him so much. So if you haven't seen it yet, this is your warning. So, the main plot of the movie, the Winter Soldier's resurging apparently and causing damage. Meanwhile, Captain America and his teammates Falcon, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch are in Lagos, I believe, chasing after Crossbones, a villain. I think he was built up in Winter Soldier. I'm not entirely certain. I'm pretty sure he was. But during the fight with Crossbones, he pulls a pin on a bomb that was strapped to his armor, and he's about to blow up himself and Captain America. So Scarlet Witch quickly like levitates him up into the air and throws him up. But they were right next to a building, and Crossbones explodes in the air above them and subsequently blows up this building that they're right next to. So the government is like, okay, you blew up Sokovia, you blew up New York City, you blew up Washington, D.C., and now you just blew up this building by being careless. Superheroes need to be regulated. And you're going to have to register with the government, we're going to regulate you, and we're going to rein you in when things get too out of hand. So this naturally causes a divide between the heroes. Tony, who has an interaction with a person early in the movie, this woman walks up to Tony and she says, "My son was in Sokovia, you dropped a building on him and he's dead now, and I blame you for it." And this really hits him hard because there's a flashback in the beginning of the movie where it shows how his parents were killed. And so this takes a big toll on him, and this completely puts him on the side of regulating the heroes, making sure no one else is going to get hurt or killed, no innocent people are lost when they're fighting. But Captain America has his own beliefs where he's like, you can't settle. You have to stand your ground. You have to fight for what you believe in, and I don't believe in this regulation, and I'm going to fight against it. I'm sorry. So pretty much, Tony has a group of the Avengers, a handful of the Avengers who go and sign in favor of the regulation, and Captain America and his friends don't sign it, which makes them federal criminals. And pretty much the government's chasing after them and trying to imprison them for a large majority of the movie. And this comes to a head where Iron Man is forced to try and bring in Captain America into jail, and everyone on Cap's side and everyone on Iron Man's side has to try and help Tony bring everyone in. So that's pretty much where the big clash happens, and people who've already seen it refer to it as the airport scene, but it's where everyone in the Marvel Cinematic Universe just fights each other, and oh my god, is it fucking fantastic. I was grinning like a giddy schoolboy the entire scene. There is so much fan service in it in the best way possible. I want to start off with Spider-Man because I love what Tom Holland is doing with the role. Pretty much before the airport scene, Tony goes and he's like, "I have a secret weapon. I know this kid." So he goes and he talks to Peter Parker, and he's like, "I know you're Spider-Man. I know you have really awesome powers. I want to help you hone them, and in exchange, you're going to help me in this big fight." And he's like, "Okay." So they just go, and Spider-Man joins everyone on Tony's side. I'm sorry, I really can't remember everyone on Tony's side. It's Tony, Spider-Man, I almost said Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow a little bit. She kind of is wishy-washy about whose side she's on. Vision, Black Panther. I completely forgot Black Panther in my entire summation of the movie. They introduced Black Panther pretty much as he's a big supporter of the regulation. It's called the Sokovia Accords, and his country, he's the king of the country of Wakanda, and he's also the Black Panther. And he comes to America in support of the Sokovia Accords. Everyone's meeting together and discussing the accords and getting it signed, everything. And while he's there, his father is murdered by allegedly Winter Soldier, which you find out later Winter Soldier was being framed by the antagonist I was talking about, Heron Zebo, I think his name is, or something like that. So Black Panther not only is in support of the regulation, but he also has a personal vendetta against the Winter Soldier, who is on Cap's side. So back to the airport scene. It is the best, it's probably the best scene Marvel's come out with in any movie, in any of their movies so far. You got Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Falcon, Cap, Iron Man, Black Widow, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, Spider-Man, if I forget if I mentioned Spider-Man, but Spider-Man again if I did. I'm positive I'm leaving someone out, but there's so much happening in this scene, and it's so well directed and it's so well balanced. Everyone gets their moment to shine. And they introduce Giant Man, who fans of the comic will recognize is it's when Ant-Man turns big. He like alters his suit, so instead of shrinking him, it makes him large, and it's like his secret weapon during the fight against Tony's side. So he's like, I've only tried this once in a lab, and I passed out, but I'm gonna try it. And he does it, and he turns into Giant Man, and everyone's like, whoa. And then Spider-Man looks at him, he's like, holy shit. And it's like, I think it might be the first curse word in the entire movie, the first one that sticks out anyway. So the fact that it's said by Spider-Man, who's supposed to be 15, it's so good. Also worth mentioning, Spider-Man takes down Ant-Man, or Giant Man, by webbing around his legs, and while doing so, he tells to everyone, hey, have you ever seen that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back? Because he's like wrapping the cord around the AT-ATs. And it was just a really cool moment. They just mentioned Star Wars in a Marvel movie, and it was really awesome. Go see Civil War for the airport scene alone, because it's absolutely worth the price of admission. It takes place about half an hour before the end of the movie. And then the climax is pretty much Cap and Winter Soldier go to investigate what this Heron Zemo guy's been doing. And they think he has this grand plan to like resurrect old Hydra super soldier experiments, because they think he's just some Hydra guy. And that's why I was like, this is so stupid. I just want to see Iron Man and Captain America fight each other. Why are they doing this stupid tangent thing? They're gonna fight some stupid Hydra super soldier people that we don't care about, or Heron Zemo's gonna like inject himself with a super serum or something, and they're gonna fight him, and it's gonna be stupid. But no, they get to the place where the super soldiers are supposed to be, and they find out that he shot them all in the head and killed them all, and his real purpose for bringing them there was to show Iron Man. Oh fuck, I forgot to mention, Iron Man is there because, long story short, he finds out that the Wakandan king was not killed by Winter Soldier, and it was all a ploy by Heron Zemo, and so he temporarily joins Cap's side to go investigate what this guy's doing, and they're thinking they're gonna go and have to stop these super soldiers. So it's Cap, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier, and they go and they find Heron Zemo, and instead of like him being injected with the super serum and everything, he's just like, I meant to bring you all here so I could show Tony Stark something. And he plays the screen for him, and it flashes back again to when Tony's parents were killed, which they show in the beginning of the movie. And it reveals that the Winter Soldier was the one who murdered them when he was brainwashed by Hydra. And Tony just loses it. And there's this awesome line that Robert Downey Jr. does a wonderful job of delivering. And Cap is like trying to talk him down, and he's like, Tony, he was brainwashed, like, don't do this, you really don't have to. And he puts on the mask and he's like, I don't care, he killed my mom. And then he goes and tries to beat up Winter Soldier. Cap is trying to stop him, and what it comes down to is Iron Man rips off Winter Soldier's arm, and it's Cap versus Iron Man. And actually, there is a clear victor. Captain America actually beats Iron Man. Like, he wins. He wins the fight. He beats Iron Man. But there's still this poignancy to the scene after they win, where it's like, yeah, Cap won, but like, did anyone really win? Because it's these two friends that just fought each other and almost killed each other. So that was really good. And it wraps up where Iron Man and everyone on his side are registered. Cap and everyone on his side are now in hiding, pretty much. And Cap leaves Iron Man a note, and he's like, I know we don't see eye to eye, and I'm sorry about everything that's happened. We're not going to join you, we're not going to sign up, but if you ever need our help, you know where to find me. And that's it. And that's the state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. That's the state of the Avengers, is they're torn in two, and half of them are criminal fugitives. I'll stop summarizing now. All in all, it was really, really great. I already gave my final verdict before. It's a 9 out of 10. Um, if you're a Spider-Man fan, go see it for Spider-Man alone, because it's so worth it. If you're an MCU fan, go see it for the airport scene alone. And if you're all of the above, go see it because it's a great movie. And I had a really great time watching it, and it was really well written and well directed and super entertaining and fun to watch. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Captain America Civil War. Thanks for watching.